Let's dive right into our opening keynote from someone who brings a concrete answer to how we can turn ambition into action. He works on how companies can rethink the way they handle their IT and resources and how this can create immediate measurable impact. We have for you Loïc, Ganza, Business Development Director at Close the Gap. Please welcome him on stage. Thank you, Loïc, that you're here. The stage is yours. So we switch to Mr. Ganza's, yes, and this is yours, exactly.
Play is next.
Just the green one, yes.
All right, cool. Oh yeah, so you can hear.
You can also take a hand.
Oh, that's easier. Hello. I'd like to start things a bit differently today. And I'm gonna, just like Desiree, play a little game and ask a few questions, max 4, I think, to have a bit of an idea of the audience that I have in front of me. The first question is a test. Before reading on the website and today, who had any idea who is standing in front of them right now? Only one person? Okay. I knew this would hurt my ego, but it's all right. The second question. Who here works with, and if, sorry, I forgot to mention, if you agree, you stand up. If you don't agree, you may remain seated. Who here works with a computer or a device on a daily basis? If the answer is yes, please stand up. Okay, that makes sense. That's what I thought. And please stay standing. Next, if you still resonate, you stay up. If you don't agree, you sit down. Who receives a new, who gets a new computer or device every 3 to 5 years to work? Okay, still the majority. And the last question I have is, who knows exactly what happened to their first computer they've used? Or let's say the computer they were using 10 years ago, who knows where it is today? Interesting. Where is your computer, sir?
It's in my storage.
That is a great answer.
I went back to a Sinclair.
Okay.
Mine is in Mexico.
In Mexico?
Yeah, I just left it there because it was so old when I was living there.
Okay. And it's being used by?
I don't know.
Okay. There's 2 left, so.
I sold mine.
You sold yours? Okay.
Same as Bob. Mine's in a cabinet somewhere at home.
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, the majority is either indeed in a cabin at home or at a landfill somewhere. And that's a bit of the question that I'm trying to answer here myself. But before that, I'm going to tell you a bit about a lady called Maureen. This is an article from, I don't think you read it, but April 29th, 2006, which was last week. I'm going to start with the beginning. Maureen is a mother of 3 children, 42 years old, living in Kenya, and she was wrongfully accused of a crime and put in prison in 2024. This means that everything in her life was put on hold. She lost her family, her job. She was a teacher in language. And she had never touched, or she had really, really basic knowledge of computing. Fast forward to this photo here. It's Maureen on the right. In the middle, it's the First Lady of Kenya, handing in a certificate to Maureen. Because it's a certificate of digital literacy, and today a I think less than a month after her release from prison, she was acquitted for all the crimes. She is a teacher in coding. So the question is, how does Maureen go from being in jail with no access to the computer to being a coding teacher? Actually, when she arrived in prison, the prison where she was at, there was a computer class that was funded by us. I will tell you who us is in a second, where we actually teach people who don't have immediate access to computers or devices, and we give them actually opportunities that they usually wouldn't have. So Maureen is one of the many success stories. We don't have to go as far as Kenya. We can also go here in Belgium, where we noticed during COVID and everybody was working from home, kids suddenly had to study from home. And we noticed that there was a big gap between us assuming that everybody has a computer. But the reality is that the digital divide is still quite large, not only between Belgium and Kenya, but also in Belgium itself. So how does a computer get to Maureen? It actually starts with one question that people don't usually get to. So when you're at a company, there's an IT manager, there's a CSR person, there's a finance person. Everybody has their different agenda and different questions. But everybody has a computer in their shelves, like Mr. here in front or in the back. And on the other side, there are people who need those devices because they're still quite functioning. And the question that leads to us giving a computer to Maureen is, how do we close the gap between your device in your shelf and Maureen in the prison cell? And that's a question that we've been trying to solve for the last 23 years. I'm looking at my colleague there, yes. For the last 23 years. And we've helped a lot of companies like BNP Paribas, that all of you know, to solve their logistical bottleneck of IT asset management, and to finally arrive at in hands of people who actually need it. So a short introduction. I'm Loïc from Close the Gap. We're a Belgian company that was founded in 2003 by Olivier. And today we're mainly active in Kenya. We have an entity in we have an entity in Belgium, Kenya, and South Africa and Congo, but we operate actually globally. If I can briefly explain in a short slide how we work, it's one, there's hardware. For some, hardware is a tool to work. For some, it's something that takes space in the shelf. And what we try to show is that our hardware can also be an enabler to help people like Maureen or the student in Leuven, who suddenly during COVID needs to do everything from home. And further from that, we also, aside from teaching people about digital literacy, we also support them in their ideas through an incubator that we have in Kenya. That's Close the Gap in a very, very short slide. Is this clear, or if there's any questions, by the way, just interrupt me. How do we do it, actually? It seems like a very simple process, but there's a lot of steps in between. I won't bore you with nitty-gritty details, but I just want to give you a holistic view of what happens to when a computer comes out of a shelf and how it ends up in, let's call her Lisa, who's a 12-year student in Leuven and needs a computer to study. First, we talk a lot about waste, and there was a slide that Desiree, the question that you showed about how much is being recircular at the moment. I don't remember the exact number that you showed, but it was very, very low. And today, about 80% of our electronic waste is really being wasted, actually. And our goal is to reduce that number as drastically as possible. And the first thing that we do is we work, I think here we have an international crowd. We work globally, so from Belgium to Brazil to Kenya, for example, where we actually pick up your IT material. And it's not only computer and phones, it's literally anything IT that you have at work. It can go to a server or a printer. And the reason why we do everything is because we want to make it as frictionless as possible for people to manage their IT assets. You can easily find a place where you can dispose your laptops or separately your phones, but everything together, that is a very tricky part. As soon as we get it, it ends up in a place like this. This is our hub in Contig, near Antwerp, where all the devices enter, and we start the process, actually. And the first thing that we do is, and that is, I think, the most important for most people, is we data wipe every computer or laptop that we receive, or phones and tablets, to make sure that your data is secure and not being used by anything or anybody else. And of course, you get, we also show you a certificate of all these devices have been data wiped, and maybe we are struggling with this one for this and that reason, and then we usually take out the hard drive and destroy it. After data wiping, we sort everything out. We give them grades, A, B, C, and T is like completely useless. And we either then place them in projects where people can use it, or if it's totally broken or useless, then we actually fully recycle it. We take out the parts and we recycle, and we take out the raw materials that is in it. That is a full process. I'm not going to go into details of it. The most important thing is everything that we do is ISO certified, and that we give our partners the certainty that their devices are being used in a proper manner, I would say. And to give you a bit of an example, about 75% of what we get in is we can actually place in another place and in new projects. And the other 25 we just recycle. That's a bit also our benchmark, which is quite a high number. And then we put it in schools, or we put it in Maureen's hands, like I told you before. And then we extend the life of a computer from 4 to maybe 8 years. That's a bit, in a nutshell, how the process goes. And the most important question that I get from most people is, how much does it cost for me to do this with you? How much do you think, sir? I'm sorry, you're in the first row, so you're the first target.
Cost for you to refurbish the computer?
No. Not for me, close the gap, but for the partner, yes.
0.
Okay. You?
If you give them a computer, how much do you pay?
For the whole refurbishment, the reporting. Okay, cool. The answer is actually on the slide. It's 0 indeed. And that is something that Yeah, we do it. Yes?
Yeah, just a question. When you use another operating system, like Linux Mint, you can extend the life of the computer for many more for years.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
good point.
Yeah. Do you do this? Do you change the operating system?
So
And change also the software, for example, open source software,
yeah.
because otherwise the kids, they are educated in development,
Mm-hmm.
in a monopoly development, yeah? In the Microsoft environment, and not in an environment where they can, which is open. Yeah?
Good question on that.
We do this. Do the change to Linux?
No.
Because a lot of last year Microsoft enforced the people to go from Windows 10 to Windows 11,
Mm-hmm.
and that created a large amount of waste, electronic waste, computers which are still working.
Mm-hmm.
You can't use anymore if you do the switch. If you change to Microsoft 11, I counted it. If you have a laptop, I think 2.5 centimeter high, it's more than 6,000 kilometers. If you put these laptops one above the other, 6,000 kilometers of waste, which is still working. Yeah? And if you would change the operating system from Microsoft Windows to Linux, yeah, you can work with these computers more than 5 or 10 years, longer. Yeah, I think that's a real value for your work.
So can I interrupt here? Harald, love your insight. So thank you very much. Just wanted a quick reminder, short agenda, and we are on the panel together later. So let's pick it up then. That's my suggestion.
I'll save
okay?
it for the panel.
Yeah,
All right.
you will. Thank you, Loïc.
Thank you. Well, thanks for your question. I lost my track a bit. I'm sorry, but
Sorry for the question.
no, it's all right. The most important thing actually for me is what do we do with those computers and what impact does it have and what is the added value for our partners? Why does the BNP Paribas want to work with us, for example? To give you like a tangible numbers, up till now we've collected about 2 million devices. We support about 13,000 projects, and we reached about, well, one device can be used by multiple people, so we reached about 7 million users who benefited from a computer they couldn't access before. Those are numbers in a nutshell. Why is my... To give a tangible example, KU Leuven, which is one of, or the biggest university in Belgium, has been working with us for years. I don't know the exact number, but every year they get a reporting from us on what their impact is, not only socially, in which projects their computers end up, but also what's their impact on the environment. So you get a detailed, numbers on stuff like CO2 emissions, and that is being used by them in their sustainability reporting. And it's of tremendous value for them because in the current climate that we're in, everybody is looking for those ways to contribute to the environment. So this kind of reporting is something that we do, what's the word I'm looking for? That we do tailor-made for each partner that we have. And to give you an idea of a testimonial, this is something that Alpro, the food company that we work with, told about us, is that for them sustainability is a key part of their business. So it made sense to also look into their IT, in their IT asset management, to see how sustainable they can be there. And those are different partners that we work with. But to be honest, to go back to the initial question that I have is, who knows what happened to their first device? Most people sat down except for 4 people, I think. It actually, at this exact moment, it doesn't really matter if you know what happened to it or not. What matters is that you know that you can actually control the future of all your devices that you have today, and not only focus on necessarily the new stuff, but what can you do with your old material to create a better place. And that's a bit the message that I want to give you. If you want to remember one thing, it's a quote that I heard from my lovely colleague, is waste is only waste if you waste it. So every time you want to throw something away, please double think and see how you can make an impact with that device or anything else. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Loïc. That has been a great start, and I really love the number, 75% of what comes in. You can, well, I just wanted to say that it's a great number. It was a surprise. 75% of what comes in is put to a new place, and you say this is your standard. So what do you do to keep the standard? Because it can't be easy.
It's not easy. Also, the number is high because people get a new computer after like 3 to 5 years, yeah. And in that time, the computer is actually still quite very valuable. But it's also important to make that number even higher. Well, I have contacts with a CSR manager or an IT lead, and the message doesn't always get through to the employees using the device. And the more people in it know about it, the more care they will take for their device. If they know that, okay, next year I'm getting a new device, but I know that this one can help Maureen, then I will take extra care of it.
Yeah, it's again about the awareness, yes, and spreading the word. That's why we're here. Thank you very much. And we'll hear more of you on the panel, like we said.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Loïc.